We have pro-life response to Dr. Leana Wen's abrupt departure from her role as president of Planned Parenthood. Wen announced last week Planned Parenthood's board of directors fired her in what she called a, quote, secret meeting. It's only been 8 months since Wen officially took on the role. This came after a reported clash within the ranks of Planned Parenthood's top officials over the direction of the organization. Wen had argued Planned Parenthood should broaden its scope as a healthcare organization, but says she was forced out by those who felt it should prioritize its abortion advocacy. In an outgoing message to staff, Wen wrote, quote, "The new board leadership has determined that the priority of Planned Parenthood moving forward is to double down on abortion rights advocacy." The news came 10 days after Wen wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post saying she was recovering from a recent miscarriage. Joining us now is Abby Johnson, a former Planned Parenthood clinic director turned pro-life leader and founder of the ministry And Then There Were None. Abby, thanks for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Abby, just minutes after Dr. Leana Wen tweeted she was fired, you reached out and replied back saying, "Leana, I know exactly how Planned Parenthood works and know all about their secret meetings. If you ever want to talk about your experience in complete confidence, I'm here. I will help in any way I can through your transition." Abby, why did you feel it was important to reach out like that?
You know, I've been where she is. I wasn't fired from Planned Parenthood, but I know what it's like to feel incredibly betrayed by them. And that's what I saw in her. In the things that she was posting on social media, I just felt like this is a woman who is shocked, who is betrayed, and she needs to see that we in the pro-life movement are welcoming of her. And even if she doesn't become pro-life, that's okay, but we still need to reach out to her in love. And, you know, I tell people I didn't leave Planned Parenthood and then become some pro-life warrior, right? I mean, it was a process. It was a transition. And I really believe that something is happening in Dr. Wen's heart right now.
And she mentioned in her tweet she was fired after a secret meetings. From your experience, how common are secret meetings in Planned Parenthood, and what does that reveal about their work culture?
It's very common. So what it sounded like is that Dr. Wen went to Planned Parenthood and said, "Look, I need to make a transition out." Planned Parenthood does not tolerate notices. So if you tell them, "I'm thinking about leaving, I'm going to leave, here's my 2-week notice, here's my 30-day notice," you are immediately ousted from the organization. Former workers, including their own president, are a very serious threat to Planned Parenthood as an organization. It's why I'm sure they made her sign an ironclad non-disclosure. And I think that's why they said, let's get her out before she can get any of our documentation. You know, they don't know, is she mad? Is she leaving angry? You know, so let's just get her out as quickly as possible.
And Abby, it's been about a decade since you left Planned Parenthood. Praise God. Was this debate we're seeing now on philosophical differences happening when you worked there?
No, not really. But Planned Parenthood was a different organization, even just 10 years ago. You know, 10 years ago, we were secretly trying to promote abortion. We were secretly trying to employ and engage abortion activists. Now, 10 years later, they've become very brazen with their abortion activism. You know, we were still living the lie that Planned Parenthood was about preventative health care services and about family planning. That's where we were still living 10 years ago. Now it's not that way. Their direction, their focus has completely moved away from all of those other supposed healthcare practices, and they are now solely focused on normalizing abortion at every turn.
In your opinion, does this internal conflict that's now being out in the open, does it indicate a greater level of tumultuousness inside of Planned Parenthood right now? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. And we're not just hearing it from Dr. Wen, but we're hearing it from the workers who have come through and then there were none.
Mm.
They're coming to us and saying, look, I got in this to be a nurse. Now they want me to go lobby at my state capitol for abortion rights. They're talking constantly about quotas, increasing abortion quotas in the facilities. That's not what these employees, that's not why they got involved with Planned Parenthood. So I think, yes, I think morale is very low right now inside of Planned Parenthood. It's always significantly lower than the rest of the country, but I think right now there's just things are really in a state of flux. This has been a bad year for Planned Parenthood. We've got President Trump defunding them out of the Title X program. We have state legislation across the country passing heartbeat bills, other state legislative protections for the unborn. Unplanned came out. I mean, it's been a rough year for them.
Dr. Wen was fired just 10 days after writing publicly about her recent miscarriage. Did that surprise you?
I mean, I would like to say yes, but no. Planned Parenthood is not an organization that values motherhood. So they would not be an organization that really grieved with her in regards to the loss of her child. Though, when I saw that she had written that, my heart really went out to her. I'm a woman who's experienced a miscarriage myself, and I thought, this experience might be a turning point for her. I saw that she was really trying to justify her work in abortion activism through that op-ed that she wrote. But I just sort of saw through it, and I thought, no, that she's trying really hard to hang on, but she's a woman who's grieving. She's a woman who's mourning. And my prayer at that time was that she would be a woman who came to the realization that the same infinite dignity and worth that was bestowed upon her child at the moment of conception that she miscarried is the exact same, that she would realize that it's the exact same dignity and worth that is bestowed upon every child at the moment of conception.
And finally, Abby, if Dr. Leana Wen happens to see this, what is your message to her?
My message is just to reach out. I won't tell anybody that you've reached out. I'm not going to shout it on Twitter or Instagram. We are a confidential place for abortion industry workers to go. And we're a safe place. And we are a group of people who understand where she is on her journey right now. We understand that transition. And, some of us understand what it is to make that transition in the public eye like she is right now. And, we just want to be a soft place for her to land.
Abby Johnson, founder of And Then There Were None, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Of course, thank you.
If you want to know more about Abby Johnson's story about leaving Planned Parenthood, you can order the movie Unplanned on EWTN's religious catalog starting August 13th. Just go to EWTNRC.com.